Now at 5, we're live at the Neosho Citywide Garage Sale, checking out some of the deals. Plus, how the historic Liberty Theater in Columbus, Kansas is getting new life. And the U.S. Supreme Court hears an argument over access to a popular abortion medication.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Promoters bill it as Missouri's largest garage sale. Neosho's annual citywide garage sale is underway right now and continues tomorrow. The Chamber of Commerce estimates more than 400 sales are scattered all across the Neosho area. It's enough to lure in countless bargain hunters from far and wide, hoping to trade a little cash for a little treasure. This is KOAM News at 5 on the road today, live in Neosho. I'm down. More on the garage sales in just a bit, but first some of our other top stories. Aurora and Marionville police say they've made an arrest in the armed robbery of the Eagle Stop convenience store. On Monday, authorities say a man entered the Eagle Stop store in Aurora, displayed a handgun, and demanded the clerk give him money. The man then fled in a light-colored SUV. Authorities have since arrested Dustin Lampier on suspicion of committing that robbery. He's been charged with first-degree robbery, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. Once again, we are live in Neosho for the citywide garage sale. It's a bit breezy, but otherwise,
it's pretty
weather
nice.
doesn't get much better than this.
No, it really doesn't. We're sitting into lower 80s outside right now. We are watching some thunderstorms, which are popping up out to our west. You can see a severe thunderstorm watch, which does eclipse Greenwood County on the Kansas side. But these storms are really firing out toward Wichita. And these are going to skirt into our northwestern counties as we go through the next hour or two. So Eureka, Yates Center, Iola, Burlington, Garnett, those areas you may get a few scattered thunderstorms. But besides that, we look pretty good. Look at our temps. We're sitting 80 to about 81 degrees across the region. It is breezy. We have those southerly winds at about 10 to 20, and we are getting gusts upwards to 30 miles per hour. But if you're heading out this evening, it looks great. We're going to drop back through the 70s into the 60s, but we do have chances for thunderstorms later on tonight and then again for us tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Again, we're live at the Neosho, Missouri Citywide Garage Sale. One of the things to keep in mind if you're coming down to the sale is staying safe. There are going to be a lot of cars on the roads this weekend in Neosho, as you might imagine. Police say to triple check when crossing the street.
Basically just patience. We really need your patience because there's so many cars in one spot that you're just going to have to be patient to get through. I mean, it's bumper to bumper traffic, and some people just park right in the middle of the road to get out and look at stuff.
Authorities say they're going to have an additional patrol car out to help if needed. The Neosho Chamber of Commerce is in charge of organizing this state's largest garage sale each year. In addition to registering the sales, they also keep up a map of sale locations and a list of what time the various sales start. Chamber employees got started at 5 o'clock this morning. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day too. It's also a great opportunity for the residents.
It is a beast unto itself. People have realized that they have a more successful garage sale if they take advantage of doing it during this weekend. Just so many more people, so many more opportunities of different people to see what they have available.
So yeah, if you're not coming out tonight, you do have another chance at the deals. The garage sale continues tomorrow. You can get more information about the vendors and locations at KOAMnewsnow.com. The historic Liberty Theater in Columbus, Kansas is getting a new chance at a new life. With not a lot of options for housing, this building is going to be renovated into 6 loft apartments. Local residents saw the potential in the building and wanted to save it and turn it into housing for the town.
I had reached out to the owners actually before it was on the market and asked if they would consider selling it, and they weren't really interested at the time. And then a few months later it came on the market for sale, and I thought, okay, it's either going to be turned into something or torn down. And so I wanted to try and kind of revitalize it.
The building is going to have 4 2-bedroom apartments, 2 1-bedroom apartments. Construction is set to begin next month. The drug mifepristone filed an emergency request with the Supreme Court today asking that it preserve access to its abortion pill. The justices have until the end of the day to act. Otherwise, new restrictions are go into effect tomorrow. Nancy Cordes reports from the Supreme Court.
Amid protests in Tallahassee, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a 6-week abortion ban late Thursday night. It's called the Heartbeat Protection Act.
We have the opportunity to save lives.
We are creating a death sentence for women.
Florida now joins the ranks of a dozen Republican-led states that have enacted near total bans on abortion in the 10 months since the Supreme Court undid nearly 50 years of federal protections. All eyes are now back on the Supreme Court after a conservative federal appeals court panel imposed new restrictions Wednesday on access to the abortion drug mifepristone, blocking mail delivery of the pill, shrinking the window in which women can take the medication from 10 weeks down to 7, and requiring in-person doctor's visits.
It's going to benefit America's women and girls across this country.
How is it going to benefit them?
They're going to have protections. Again, having to go and meet with a doctor beforehand to determine whether she has life-threatening complications before taking these drugs is essential.
Mifepristone is used to carry out more than half of all abortions in this country. It was approved by the FDA 23 years ago.
Mifepristone is one of the safest medications we have. It went through not just a normal FDA approval process, but was really held to a higher standard.
The Justice Department has appealed the new abortion drug restrictions to the Supreme Court. But if the 9 justices don't weigh in by the end of the day on Friday, those restrictions go into effect across the country on Saturday. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
According to a Pew Research poll, more than 6 in 10 Americans think abortion should be legal in all or most cases. Up next, we're going to talk with a couple of creative sisters selling their wares here. We're at the Neosho Citywide Garage Sale live on KOAM News at 5. Welcome back again. We are live at the Citywide Garage Sale in Neosho, Missouri, and it's a lot more than just the yard sale or garage sale. It's also a parking lot sale. In this case, we're outside Antiquish, and what you find here, you find things like plants, for example. You might find, I don't know, miniature cards here and baked goods. You'll find lots of customers making their way through, among other things, crafts. And I want to introduce you to a couple of crafters I met. They are sisters, very obviously, Deanna and Carissa Cargis. Come on up here, ladies. Things that you make here are beautiful. What you're making are little dresses for little girls and also some hand towels. Tell me, why do you do this? Either one.
Oh, we just really enjoy it, getting the fabrics and seeing how it matches, and then what comes out in the end. It's just really interesting.
So that's the creative process, but then there's also the selling process. You get to meet a lot of interesting people, I would imagine, huh?
Yes, it's interesting to see the little girls come in and look at the dresses.
Now, is there a technique for displaying your wares here? You have all different sorts of colors. So what's the strategy for attracting someone's eye?
Well, I try to get the ones that look like they would probably be most eye-catching.
What's your favorite?
Well, I kind of like the bandana dresses.
Hold one up. Are those good sellers?
Yeah, I've sold a couple of those today.
Okay. Now, Carissa, you make the dresses. Deanna, you make the towels. If you can show some of these towels. What goes into creating these towels?
Well, I buy the towels and I try to find the fabric that will match. And I put the buttons and the buttonholes on them, so the top's on them. Make a pattern for the top.
A lot of variety here. Something for everyone, I'm sure. Good luck with your sales. Again, it's going to continue tomorrow. I guess you'll both be back here bright and early?
We're planning to. Hopefully the weather holds out for that.
Well, it will eventually, I'm sure. Again, we're at the Antiquish Mall on the parking lot just outside. We're going to be back with Doug's complete forecast for this weekend. We'll find out if the weather will hold out. That's next, live from Neosho.
Well, of course, we're out here live in Neosho, of course, the annual garage sale today and tomorrow. The weather has been fantastic. We're sitting into lower 80s across the region, and we're going to stay fairly warm once again as we go into tomorrow. But we are tracking some thunderstorms. Most of us are going to be fine tonight, but you can see the showers and thunderstorms popping up out to our west, our far western counties, over toward Wichita, there is a severe thunderstorm watch, which does include Greenwood County. And most of these storms tonight are going to be hail makers and wind makers, and most of them are going to stay across central and northeastern parts of Kansas, but we will get a few stragglers in here later on tonight. You can see there's a severe thunderstorm warning. It barely it just kind of eclipsed northwestern part of Greenwood County on the Kansas side as these storms lift off toward the north and to the east. So our northwestern counties could pick up a few scattered thunderstorms over the next couple hours. Besides that, we look pretty good. We're sitting into lower 80s right now. Look outside. 7th and Rangeline looks fantastic, sitting at 81. Southerly winds, it is breezy at about 10 to 20, and of course gusts have been a little bit higher than that. Look at our wind tracker. You can see those sustained winds anywhere from 15 upwards to 20, and then we're getting gusts pushing 30 at times, and it's going to stay windy as we go through the evening hours and then into tomorrow as well. We'll drop back through the 70s, 60s, but we'll only bottom out into lower 60s later on tonight. All right, severe threat for tonight, mainly our western counties. We need to watch as some of these storms start to try to push in southeastern Kansas after midnight tonight. I do think they'll weaken, but we'll keep our eyes on it. And then tomorrow, the severe threat pushes east, and we're kind of right on the edge again. So our eastern counties on the Missouri side, that's where the storms are going to get going, and then kind of push towards Springfield and then central parts of Missouri, but something we want to watch for tomorrow as well. So let's break it down. Let's step through time. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms next couple hours, northwestern counties, and then we're going to watch that complex out across central Kansas, because some of these are going to try to work in after midnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I do think they'll weaken, but we could get some stronger storms in here late tonight. And then by morning, it's pretty calm, a few random showers, and then here comes our cold front. It starts to press in right around the noon hour, so we're going to have to see when and where thunderstorms are going to develop. But I think we could get a few stronger ones from Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, maybe Joplin, Neosho, Anderson, and then they're going to quickly push off toward the east across central parts of Missouri, and that's where the big severe threat is going to be. Behind it, though, look at this. Our temperature is quite a bit cooler. So once we get into Sunday, our high temps are only going to be right around 60 degrees, which is quite a bit cooler than what we have seen most of this week. So here's your day planner for you tomorrow. We are going to go into the 70s, but our temperatures are going to drop during the afternoon into the evening hours once that cold front starts to press in. All right, 77 for us tomorrow, 61 on Sunday. Overnight lows down into the upper 30s. I think we'll stay right above the frost level, but something we want to watch. Chance for thunderstorms Tuesday, Wednesday, severe threat, high severe threat next Thursday and Friday.
You know, you had a personal request from one of the vendors here not to let it rain on the garage.
I'm trying. I'm working.
Try harder.
I will.
It's topping today's Health Watch, one of the first studies to assess the bivalent COVID-19 booster vaccine finds it's providing effective protection for vulnerable adults aged 65 years and over. New research published in the Lancet Journal found that those receiving Pfizer bivalent boosters had a 72% lower risk of COVID-19 related hospitalization, 68% lower risk of COVID-19 related death. We know there are a lot of benefits to wearing hearing aids. Well, a new study suggests if you have a hearing loss and you're not using the devices, your risk of dementia might be higher. Yeah, your risk of dementia could go up. Naomi Ruckham has more.
Dementia and hearing loss are common health conditions among older adults. New research in the Lancet Public Health suggests hearing aids may protect against a higher risk of dementia associated with hearing loss. Researchers looked at data from more than 430,000 adults in the UK and followed them for about 12 years on average. People with hearing loss not using hearing aids had a 42% higher risk of dementia of all causes compared to people with normal hearing. Researchers say no increased risk was found in people with hearing loss who used hearing aids. It's estimated that hearing loss may be linked to around 8% of dementia cases worldwide, and experts say tackling hearing impairment could be critical. Signs of hearing loss include trouble understanding what people are saying on the phone, finding it hard to follow conversations when 2 or more people are talking, asking people to repeat what they are saying, and turning up the TV volume so loud that others complain. Hearing loss is the third most common chronic health condition in older adults. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Last year, hearing aids became available over the counter for people with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss. Could better birth control be on the way? Well, a new study in the Philippines shows it's possible to reduce hormones in estrogen-only contraceptives by 92% and still prevent ovulation. In progesterone-only contraceptives, the total dosage could be cut by 43%. Coming up, what safety experts are doing to curb a rise in distracted driving deaths. The FBI is now looking into more than a dozen cases of unruly passengers on commercial flights for possible criminal charges. The Federal Aviation Administration says 17 cases from the first 3 months of this year were sent to FBI investigators for review. Incidents range from threats against fellow passengers to alleged sexual assaults. The FAA says it's now referred more than 250 cases to the FBI, a number that has grown nearly sevenfold since 2021. April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Distracted driving deaths are on the rise. Reporter Danya Bacchus takes a look at the problem and what officials say can be done to stop it.
This 2019 video highlights the danger of texting behind the wheel. Police say the driver was on the phone when they drifted into a power pole. Luckily, the driver only had minor injuries, but that's not often the case.
Sent up in the air, landed on my head.
9 years ago, Jim Jones was hit by a distracted driver while walking across the street. He had brain damage, severe injuries, and is still dealing with the long-term effects.
Walking around with a cane, I'm not used to that. That was something I had to get used to. But the brain injuries are something because it's short-term memory.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says more than 3,500 people were killed in distracted driving crashes in 2021, a 12% increase from 2020. That's an average of 9 people a day.
Too many people are making it a priority to respond to a work email or send a text message or program GPS while they're driving.
Doug Shoup with AAA is encouraging people to use the driving focus feature on their phone. It can be accessed through settings on an iPhone.
These driving focus features will connect to a vehicle's Bluetooth and also restrict incoming calls and texts while the vehicle is in motion.
Jim Jones's family was told he wouldn't survive, but he was determined to recover to walk his daughter down the aisle 4 months after his accident.
What is your message to drivers now?
I wish people would just reflect on what happens to the families of the victim. And the victim themselves, of course.
And he hopes his story prevents someone else from becoming a victim. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Consumers are reining in the spending amid recession fears. That's according to data out today from the Commerce Department. Retail sales fell by 1% in March compared to February. Economists were expecting a drop of only 0.4%. The recent banking crisis has only fueled concerns about recession. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Steve Hartman takes us on the road to St. Louis with the story of a daughter's sacrifice to save her father. Then on KOAM News at 6, the city of Carthage hosts its first Food Truck Friday of the year. Plus, we're going to hear more about renovations being made to the historic Liberty Theater in Columbus, Kansas, and what residents can do if they notice a bee swarm on their property. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. And also, oh yeah, by the way, tonight at 6, we're going to be right back here live in the Osho with the citywide garage sale is going on.
And the weather,
breezy at the moment.
It is. It's a little breezy, but overall, it's a pretty nice evening. Most of us, we're going to be dropping back through the 70s into the 60s. We are going to watch for some scattered thunderstorms late tonight after midnight, and then again early afternoon tomorrow, some showers tomorrow night. Turning quite a bit cooler on Sunday, but not a bad day. High temp 61.
Yeah, overall the weekend looking pretty nice.
It does.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here live in the Osho for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.